is the Chrissy Swan Show.
We're about to talk about public altercations. And for me, they are the depth of misery.
Yeah.
Because I don't like confrontation at the best of times. Couple that with the idea that I very rarely have any idea what's going on.
There's nothing for you to confront anyone about. People will be confronting you
Yes, I know.
about how you're going about life.
That's right. So if I am the subject of any sort of abuse, public abuse, I've done it unintentionally, and it's the depth of misery for me. You can imagine even just this story, I want to break out in hives. It happened on a plane, which is very close proximity. Everyone's like rammed in together.
People are always heightened on planes as well.
I know, it's so easy to make someone cranky.
Yeah. Because there's already the sort of element of anxiety around flying.
Yes.
So when you then throw in any form of confrontation or altercation, it gets blown up bigger than it should.
You've just got to let things go.
Yeah.
But this guy didn't. So it was a plane on the tarmac, mechanical issues. Everyone was sitting down ready to go. Then, oh God, don't you hate it? They say, okay, guys, you've got to get off. You'll be back on, but you've got to get off while we sort everything out. Something happened so big that they sent a news guy to cover it, and this is what he had to say.
The incident happened on a flight from here in Newark to Miami. The woman passenger says she found the phone charger after a mechanical issue forced all the passengers to deplane. 3 hours later, everyone was allowed back on board, and that's when the dispute erupted.
So you can imagine, she's one of the last off. She sees a charger there, and she goes, whoop, that is a score. Because there's nothing better than a free charger.
And at the end of a flight, your phone's always nearly dead if there's not a charging port on board.
So she's pulled it out of the plug hole and headed off, did whatever they did for 3 hours. They've come back on. Well, the original owner of the Apple iPhone charger singles her out in front of everyone and says this.
Excuse me, did you take my charger? Why would you take my charger?
Because we got off the flight.
Yeah, but my charger, that's my charger. Why would you take
You're
it?
going to get it back. Give me one
But why would you take it though, without permission?
Because nobody was on the flight. And you're getting it back.
Okay, can I have it back?
Give me 1 second.
Yeah, but don't steal things. You can't take things without asking.
Nobody's on the flight.
Oh, you just take things? Like we're not coming back? Why don't you take people's luggage then?
Oh, my God. So embarrassing.
He was really living for it, though, that dude.
Oh, yeah, he was way too aggressive.
I'm on her side because I bet when they were coming off the flight, I've seen headphones and stuff, they're always on the floor. Like, he's probably gotten off and knocked it and it's landed on the floor. She's seen it. I can see in the video,
No.
she's a younger woman. She
shouldn't-
needed to charge her phone. She came back on, no, I'm on her side.
Nah, she shouldn't have taken it because, as he said, what, are you going to take people's luggage? Everything was left there on the plane. They haven't made everybody take their stuff.
Nah.
Look, she shouldn't have done it, but also he shouldn't have attacked her like that. How embarrassing.
But maybe if she knew they were coming back on the plane, she was like, all right, whilst we're waiting in the lounge or on the chairs,
Jack,
I'm going to
you
charge
don't
my
do
phone.
that. No.
If I'm that desperate to charge my phone, I will resort to stealing.
But they're at an airport.
No,
she can go
mate,
to
they're
Tech
like
to go. and get one.
$32 at Tech to go. They
I
rip
know,
you off.
But that is not her. Look, this is beside the point. She shouldn't have taken it. But the public altercation is the most humiliating thing that can happen to anybody.
The Chrissy Swan Show.
We're talking about public altercations. Have you been the subject of one? Have you done something wrong? It's so awful when you do something wrong in public and somebody calls you on it. I hate it.
When did you last have one?
I was in a queue for an ice cream and there were people everywhere and I didn't know who was next. And then the woman behind the counter said, what would you like? And so I said, I'll have a coconut gelato. And the woman next to me at full voice said, I was next. Excuse me. No, yelled at me.
Oh, get a grip.
And I said, okay, that's fine. Please, I'm happy to wait. And she goes, how does this queue even work? And she was getting mad at me and getting mad at the woman behind the counter. And I said, truly, it's fine. I'll wait. I don't know how it works either. I understand. So I'm trying to make it good.
And did she like that? Did she like you trying to interact?
It didn't matter because the woman behind the counter who works there said, I decide who's next. And then she locked her eyes on me and said, did you say coconut? And I was then stuck and I went,
yeah, I did.
Yes, I did. And then the woman was just staring at me with daggers. It was awful.
When I see those sort of interactions happen, I always have this line that I would like to deliver to someone.
What is it?
Because, if you go really calm when someone goes angry, it annoys them even more further.
Yes.
I'd love to turn to someone like that and go, would you like a Valium? Like, I've always...
That is so
Would you like
good.
a Valium?
That is so good.
Just to
and
really-
did you know that it's very unusual for people to, like in that situation with me
Yeah.
and the ice cream, it's very unusual for a human being to go, please, you go first, that's fine. Apparently that's a very unusual reaction. Most normal human beings will fight with fight.
Oh, no, I'm so...
Yeah, but never forget the great Michelle Obama, when they go low, we go high.
Correct.
And it drives people crazy.
13, 24, 10, have you had a public altercation or confrontation?
Shelley, what happened?
Well, I was travelling to New Zealand with my son, and so we'd be pretty excited. We'd upgraded to sort of like, a better class.
Say
would you
it,
say?
business.
But, yeah. And anyway, first time, it was a lovely trip for him and I. Anyway, so everyone's boarding, we're in our seats, and this guy comes on with this huge rat-type sack thing, and then he proceeds to take my bag out from the top of the luggage and move it and put his rucksack thing in there.
Wait,
And I
where
go,
did he put your bag?
He moved it like 3 or 4 things down. And I went, mate, what are you doing? And he goes, well, I'm putting my bag there. And I said, well, where are you sitting? He goes, well, down the back. And I said, well, off you go. So I proceeded to take his bag out and I walked it on down the back and put it down where he was. And then I grabbed my bag and put it back.
The audacity to move your bag.
Also, Shelley, fantastic response with, off you go.
Off
I like
you go.
that. Priceline Pharmacy voucher for you, Shell.
Hi, Tony.
Hi, how are you?
Good. What happened?
Look, so I used to be a cop, but obviously I'm no longer one. But my confrontation is always with people who park in disabled spots. Ooh. So the last one was I was walking into 7-Eleven and there was a disabled spot right at the front and a bloke just pulls up in his truck and gets out. And I go, mate, what are you doing? It's a disabled spot. And he goes, yeah, I'm just going to be 30 seconds. And I told him, I go, it doesn't matter if you're going to be 30 seconds. The point of a disabled spot is for someone to park there because they can't park anywhere else. And he goes, oh, well, I can't park anywhere else because the other spots are taken. And I go, but like every Bowser is empty. You can just park your truck there and walk in. So he's like giving me a look and he's like, okay. And he goes and like parks his truck. And then when I actually went in and like ended up coming out of the 7-Eleven, there was a bloke riding in on his disability scooter. So actually someone like, was coming in. So like, and then he saw it and then he saw me looking and he just had like the look on his face of like you were right. You know what I mean?
Yes. How you must have felt so vindicated
Absolutely.
at that point. It couldn't have gone better.
Also, once a cop, always a cop.
Always a cop.
Priceline Pharmacy voucher for you, Tony. Let's finish with Renee Swanee.
Hi, Renee. Did somebody get mad at you?
Yes, I took my son to a park and there was a jumping castle there. And this lady, stomps up to me and waving her hands about and snapping her fingers at me and F-bombs here and F-bombs there. And apparently my child was jumping too vigorously on the jumping castle.
What were the words she said to you, Renee?
Oh, I don't think I can say it on radio.
The Chrissy Swan Show. The Chrissy Swan Show.
I just want to put it out there. Something very, funny / untoward / inappropriate happened on a Qantas flight from Sydney to Tokyo. A movie was played that was not really suitable viewing for all ages. If you were on that flight and you saw it, can you please give us a call? 13 24 10. In the meantime, let's talk about it.
Yeah.
The film is called Daddy-O, and you and I, Jack, have just watched the trailer. It looks amazing.
It looks so good.
It's got Dakota Johnson, who's never bad. She is so great in everything I've ever seen. And Sean Penn as well. They're the main actors.
What a duo.
What a duo. And the storyline is basically he's a taxi driver. She gets in and they reveal, all their personal details to each other. I think it feels like a very sort of dialogue-based movie, which I love.
Yes.
But there are some rude scenes in it.
There are, because Dakota's character is in the back seat texting a married man.
Yes.
And whilst she's texting him, you see the sort of exchange on screen in the film, and there's proper dirty talk.
It is super confronting, and I'm imagining families on this flight taking their kids to Tokyo Disneyland with no control over what they're watching. Everyone watched this film. Normally you can select your stuff. It was just on. That was it. You couldn't turn it off.
I've never heard of this happening.
Either have
where there's a
I.
glitch where literally everyone has to watch the same film.
So once again, 13 24 10, if you were on the flight, we would love to talk to you because I don't understand how even that works.
Neither.
But you've got no choice.
Their flight attendants must have been properly wigging out because imagine the parents having a crack at them being like, Cheryl, my daughter cannot see this anymore.
Yes.
And the flight attendant's like, sorry, trying to turn it off, and it won't turn off.
You cannot turn it off once it's started.
I'm going to watch Daddy-O now
It looks really, Daddy-O that sounds a bit ick. The trailer was gorgeous.
Daddy-O already sounds a bit naughty. That name sounds naughty.
I agree. But it was very naughty. On the flip side, there would have been a lot of people on that flight where it was their first naughty thing that they saw.
Yeah, there's nothing quite like your first naughty film.
And they will never forget it.
I remember Dad putting on American Pie when I was like 5 or 6.
That's too young for American Pie. So at what point did you go, hang on, this is rude and I love it?
I think it was band camp, that film, and I think it involves a trumpet or a saxophone. Yeah, something goes on with an instrument. But we were laughing and like Dad was loose and fun. He didn't care. And
did he might have thought, he's only 5. He won't understand that. He won't know that that's naughty.
Well, that's his way of educating us, one or the other.
But there is a strange thrill at finding or being involved in your first rude thing.
Do you remember yours, like what you saw?
I do. I reckon my first rude thing was a rude magazine that I found at my grandmother's, of all places, in Brizzy.
Yeah.
And it wasn't hers, but my cousin was living there, long term, and he was a young man. And I was in the spare bedroom, which used to be his room, la, la, la. Anyway, there was a dirty magazine that I found. I must have been looking for it too.
Yeah.
Because it was in between. Oh, no, I didn't look for it. I was sleeping on the floor. And so I was on eye level of in between the mattress and the base. Yeah. And I was like, oh, what's that? And I snuck my hand in and pulled it out. And it was like a German booklet. It wasn't
Why are they always German?
Oh, man. Then the Germans, woof. Anyway, it wasn't even like a full-size magazine. It was like a booklet.
Yeah.
And I could not believe my eyes. It was so thrilling.
Did you tell anyone or tell your grandma?
No, I put it back so that I knew exactly where it was next time I wanted to find it.
Now check this out.
The Chrissy Swan Show is a Nova podcast. For more great comedy shows like this, head to novapodcast.com.au.